These are some of my past favorite Christmas DIYs. Let me show you how I created them. And because this video is pretty long, let's get right to it. Today I'll be creating these beautiful Christmas trees using some Dollar Tree ornaments. For the first Christmas tree, I'm going to be using this shelf board. Now this is something that I had offhand, and this is a really thick board. This is going to be a pretty sturdy home decor. You don't need it to be that thick, it's just what I had on hand. Now this measures 10.5 inches wide and 28 inches in height. I'm going to be spray painting the board with this chalkboard spray paint by Rustic. Okay, so I've taken my board outside and I'm going to start spray painting it. I'm going to give it one coat and then I'm going to let it dry and then give it a second coat. I'm also going to use the deer head from this Dollar Tree ornament. I'm only going to be using the deer head, so what I'm going to do is remove the wreath of horns that it has around the deer. And I'm also going to remove the greenery around the neck. And now I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to spray paint it with some white spray paint. Now the deer has a white color already, but it's not bright enough and I really want it to be super white. So that is the reason why I'm going to go and spray paint it. So these are all the ornaments from Dollar Tree that I'm going to be using on my Christmas tree. Now I'm going to be using some of these vase fillers. Now these are just great to use as a Christmas ornament. They are just really pretty and there's all different sizes, so you can fit them into different areas to fill in spaces. I'm also going to be using this other bag that has some really bright white vase fillers, which I really like. So I'm going to be using 2 of these bags. I'm going to be alternating those vase fillers. I'm also going to be using about 2 packs of these that come in a pack of 15. And these have gold and like cream white Christmas ornaments. Now those are so pretty. I'm also going to use these smaller little ornaments, and these come in a pack of 16. So I'm going to also alternate some silver ones and gold ones and just mix all those different Christmas ornaments and create a really pretty Christmas tree made out of just Christmas ornaments. Did I say that enough? Christmas ornaments. Okay, so my board is ready now. I'm going to be using this long board as a guide, and what I'm going to do is just create a triangle shape. As you'll see in a little bit, some of the paint came off, but that's okay because the ornaments will cover that. Okay, so now we have the shape of a Christmas tree, and now all I have to do is now fill it in with Christmas ornaments. I will be using this deer head and I'll be placing it up at the top of the Christmas tree. So I'm just going to mark off some space where I need to place it. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding all the ornaments. Now I'm going to start with the vase fillers up at the top because they're smaller, and then I'm just going to work my way down using the bigger ornaments and just alternating all the different ornaments that I have on hand. Now let me just say that this is just one idea to decorate your Christmas tree. You really can use any of the Christmas ornaments that Dollar Tree has right now, or anything that you might have stored in your stash. I just wanted to use just plain round ornaments. I do want to try and make another one, but in a larger scale, perhaps using an old door or something like that. Also, I wanted to say this took a while, so it does take some time to hot glue each ornament and then placing it just right. So it does take some time. It's not a quick, fast DIY, let me tell you. But was it fun? Yes, most definitely. I didn't really want to make this part of the film so long, but I just kind of want you to see how I started to build up the ornaments, and so that you can get a really good idea as to how I created the Christmas tree with ornaments. And so I apologize if this clip is just too long. Now I'm gonna hot glue the deer head up at the top of the Christmas tree. And this is how my Christmas tree is turned out so far. Now for the tree trunk, I'm going to be using a piece of this pool noodle, and I'm just going to cut a little piece, and then I'm going to cut that piece in half. And the piece is about 2.5 inches in height. And I'll be spray painting it with this gold metallic spray paint. And lastly, now I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the trunk to the bottom of the tree. For the next Christmas tree, I'm going to be using these 3 Dollar Tree signs, and this is an alternative in case you don't have one long solid board. So I'm going to start off by removing the metal wording that they have. I will be storing away these metal wordings because I can use them later on for future DIYs. Okay, so what I've done here is I've laid out all 3 boards side by side, and I'm going to be gluing them this side with the right side up. But I do want you to see something. The pattern on this board is really pretty, and if you wanted to, you could create your trees directly on top of these boards without painting them or anything. Now these white ones, I did peel off some of the paper, but perhaps you can maybe add some paint and cover them up. But these are really pretty as well, but I'm going to be using the back side, and that's where I'm going to be painting it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing the pieces together, and like I said, I'm starting on the front side, which will really be the back side when I'm done. Okay, so now that I've glued the 2 boards together, now I want to reinforce them by adding some more glue and then directly adding a piece of duct tape over between where the 2 seams meet. And I'll be following the same steps to the other side of the board. Now to give this board extra support, I'm going to be using these rulers from Dollar Tree, and these come in a pack of 2. Okay, so here I'm just showing you that I've removed the black strips that has the numbers, but I'm going to be hot gluing this back side that's flat onto my boards this way. So here I just want to show you that the boards had these holes in them where the hanging strings were placed. I'm going to go ahead and cover these using some spackling from Dollar Tree. I know this is a bit more work than just having one long board, but like I said earlier, this is just an alternative just in case you don't have one solid board. I'm also going to add some spackling to the seams. The spackling dries pretty quickly, so I'm just going to give it a few hours to dry. Okay, so now it's been about 2 hours, and now I'm ready to sand off everywhere I put some spackling, and I'm going to be using my sanding block for that. For this board, I also use the chalk spray paint. I'm going to be using this white Artesia outdoor acrylic paint to paint around my board and also create some lines and make it look like distressed wood. I'll also be using this gingerbread felt ornament kit, and what I'm going to do with it is create a deer head. I'm also going to be using this Dollar Tree dish mat in this really pretty buffalo check print. So I'm going to start off by removing the head of the gingerbread, and then the arms are going to be the ears. But first I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to cut off the head, and then I'm going to just continue working with it until I get the shape that I need. Okay, so these are the legs of the gingerbread boy, and what I'm going to do is just cut them off and shape it up like the jawline of the deer. Okay, so I felt that the chin was a little bit too pointy, so I'm gonna cut it off and just round it off just a little bit more. After cutting it several times, I decided to cut it some more and cut off the ears just a little bit and make them a little bit smaller, and also make like the top of the head of the deer, because it didn't have that. It just didn't look right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and reshape it some more. Okay, so now I'm gonna place my deer head pattern over the dish mat, and I'm just gonna outline it with a black marker. Next, I'm gonna cut it out. I'm also going to be using this Dollar Tree headband with antlers. So I'm just going to break off the antlers and then I'll be cutting them with my scissors. So now what I'm going to do is hot glue my deer head right there on the top of the board. Next, I'm going to be hot gluing the antlers on the back side of the board over the deer head, just like this. I'm also going to turn it over and put some more hot glue on the back side. And for this one, I'm going to also create another Christmas tree shape, and I'm going to start right underneath the chin of the deer. For this tree, I'm going to use these red ornaments, and these come in a pack of 12. So with this tree, just with the last, I'm going to start filling it with the red ornaments. However, these ornaments are a little bit bigger. For some reason, I offsetted this one. I was playing around with the tree and just adding now some of these silver bulbs, but in the end I decided not to. So this is also another option. I just felt that the red really stood out against the black. I'm also going to be adding some of these mini pine cones from Dollar Tree and also the larger brown pine cones. So I'm going to start with the large pine cones, and I'm just going to be hot gluing them in different areas where I feel it needs to be filled up with something. I didn't want to put an ornament. I wanted to put something different, and I thought of these pine cones that would look perfect with this tree. In some areas, I did end up using some red Christmas ornaments. And then I went in with the mini pine cones. This is how my tree turned out, and now all I need to do is add the trunk. Now this is the other half of the pool noodle. I had spray painted white, but I really didn't like how that looked, so what I ended up doing is wrapping it in some burlap and then hot gluing it under the tree, and now it had a cute little tree trunk wrapped in burlap. I'll be using this Dollar Tree triangle box decor with this pretty print. I'm gonna leave this just as is, and I'm just gonna fill it inside and use it like the shadow box. Sometime back, Dollar Tree had these really cute RVs with a red truck. And also from Dollar Tree, I'll be using the Christmas tree from these little red trucks from these ornaments. So I want to place this little tree on my red truck, but I'm going to cut some of that wire stem because it's a little bit too long, and then I'm going to hot glue it onto the back of my truck. And let me just bring you up close to my little red truck so that you can see how it turned out. I'm also going to be using some cotton. I'm going to use this as snow. So I'm going to take one cotton ball, and then I'm just going to pull it on each side and just kind of extend it, not pull it apart, just make it a little bit wider. And then I'm going to hot glue it there at the bottom of the box. And I'm going to continue doing the same thing to the other cottons. I'm just going to pull them apart and then place them there at the bottom of the box. I'll be using the smaller miniature Christmas tree, and these are also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to place it there in the corner of my box, and I'm going to hot glue it down. Even though I had already hot glued the cotton down, I did have to move it and push it to one side. And then I placed my cotton back where it was and just arranged it there so it looks like snow on the ground. And then lastly, I placed my little red truck right there on the other corner, and that is it for this DIY. This is for all you red truck Christmas lovers like I am. I'll be using another triangle box decor. This one though has this green color, and I will be spray painting this one. I'll be using this Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover Ultra Matte White spray paint. So I'm going to take this outside and go spray paint it. Okay, so the paint is already dry and I'm ready to start working on this project. I'm going to be filling my triangle box with these glitter vase fillers, and these are from Dollar Tree, and this is in the fall collection that they had not too long ago. I'm not sure if they still have some, but I purchased these a while back when they first came out. So I'm going to start hot gluing all the gold little glitter balls, and I'm going to start with the smallest one up at the top, and then I'm just going to alternate from the larger ones to the medium ones and the small ones until I completely fill my Christmas tree, is what I'm calling it. I didn't have enough of the gold, so I moved on to some light green ones that also came in a package in the color light green with orange. So I'm just going to continue adding the little fillers until I fill my Christmas tree up. I'm also going to be using one of these snowflakes from these DIY stickers, and these are the wooden ones. So I'm going to take one out and I'm going to go spray paint it with some gold spray paint. Okay, so now that the paint is dry on my snowflake, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it up at the top of my Christmas tree, just like that. Now for the base of my Christmas tree, I'm going to use this little Christmas tree ornament, and it's a bucket. Now what I'm going to do is remove the foam that it has inside that's supposed to be snowballs and put it aside for a moment, and then I'm going to remove the little handle. So I'm going to take my pliers and remove that handle. By the way, this ornament was from Dollar General. I purchased this last year. And I'm also going to bend the little handle so they lay flat. And now I'm going to put the foam back into the little bucket, but they're going to be upside down. And that's just to give it a little filler, because I will be using this as the base for my Christmas tree. So now I'm just going to add some hot glue around the top of the bucket, and then I'm going to place my Christmas tree on top. And to reinforce it, I added some more hot glue on the back side. I'm going to be using this wood bead frame that I purchased at Dollar Tree. It was one of the times that I did a haul. So I'm going to start by removing the insert that it has, and all I'm going to do is just lift the little tabs and then just take it out. It's that easy. And I'm also going to be using this placemat, also from Dollar Tree. All I'm going to do is just cut out a piece just the same size as the insert. I'm just going to outline it with the pen and then cut it out and then place the backing over it, but this time I'm not going to hot glue it. I don't want to hot glue it because I want to be able to use this for different projects. So now I'm just going to turn it over and place the pretty print facing forward. And this is how it looks now with this pretty print. I absolutely love it. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is add another Christmas ornament, and this is a deer, and I found this at Dollar General for $1, and I thought it was also very pretty. This is in the same collection as a snowflake. It has this tan color to it. So all I did is just add a dab of hot glue and then place it right there in the center of the frame. I'm going to be using this wood sign that's a shape of an ornament. So the first thing that I'm going to do to it is I'm going to go spray paint it with this gold spray paint. And this is the 2X Ultra Cover Metallic Rust-Oleum Spray Paint. So I went to Dollar Tree and I only found these letters, the J, the C, and the K. Now I was wanting to spell the word joy, but I couldn't find the O or the Y. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the O and the Y using the C and the K. Okay, so let's start with the K. Now, as you can see, the angle is too much to one side. And if you turn it upside down, the V looks a little bit better this way. So what I'm gonna do is cut both legs off the letter and it'll form the Y letter that I'm needing. And now I'm just gonna hot glue that one leg onto the V portion of the letter Y. Now this I'm gonna turn into an O, so I am gonna just follow the curve around the letter C just so that it can be rounded off. Now to close up the letter C, I did use a piece from the leg that was left over from the K. Okay, so now that I have all my letters complete, I'm gonna close off those little holes that the letters came with because I am gonna be spray painting over these and I don't want those little holes to come out on the other side. So I'm just gonna seal them off with a little bit of hot glue. Okay, so the gold paint has already dried and now I'm gonna place my letters in the center of my ornament. And I am gonna add some crafters tape to the back side of the letters and then I'm gonna go ahead and take it outside and spray paint it now with the white spray paint. Now the letters do look really pretty this way, but since they're just made up, they don't look quite as pretty in person. Okay, so this is how it turned out and I'm not happy with it. So I am gonna have to paint over the letters with some gold acrylic paint that I have and just do my best in fixing this so it looks nice. I apologize, I couldn't get my camera to focus, but I am gonna be using this ornament marker from Dollar Tree in the color gold. So I started by outlining all the letters with the marker. And then I moved on to filling in the letters with the marker, but I didn't like how that turned out. So that's when I ended up adding some acrylic paint over the letters. Okay, so I ended up using this Artesia outdoor acrylic paint in the color gold. And I also went around the edges of the ornament with that same acrylic gold paint. I found these really pretty poinsettia clips at Dollar Tree and I thought they were so pretty. They had them in silver and a cream color and burgundy. So I'm going to be using one of those on top of the ornament. I've already bent it to where I can just slip it at the top of the ornament. I'm just gonna remove the clip from it and just hot glue it up at the top. But before I do that, I'm gonna use some of these fern foliage and they're in the really pretty silver color. So I'm just gonna clip some of those branches off and hot glue them up at the top before I actually put the poinsettia on there. What I'm going to be using is a Dollar Tree picture frame, and it's a 5x7. Dollar Tree carries these in gold, silver, and black. I'm going to be using this gold color. Okay, so now that I've taken off all the wrapping, I'm going to also remove the backing, the cardboard, the glass, and just the insert. And then I'm going to go ahead and just keep the backboard because I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to put the glass aside. I won't be using the glass. I'm also going to be using this Dollar Tree microfiber cloth. I'm only going to cut a piece off. Okay, next I'm going to take my cardboard and place it on top of the cloth, and then I'm going to outline it with a pen. Next I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut what I've just outlined. And then I'm going to take one of the cardboard inserts and I'm going to place it over the cloth, and then I'm going to hot glue it onto it. And then I'm going to insert it into my picture frame as if it was a picture. And then I'll put back the backboard to the picture frame. And now you have this pretty picture frame with this nice soft cloth that to me looks very wintry. And lastly, I'm going to hot glue this real pretty ornament that I bought at Dollar General for only $1. Now they have tons of Christmas decorations for only $1. So this is a very simple idea or simple DIY that anybody can do. But you can tailor it according to your own liking, your own Christmas decor. Whatever you'd like to put in this picture frame, it's really up to you. But I really thought that this snowflake would be so pretty with my Christmas decoration. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use this microfiber cloth, and what I'm going to do is cut 4 strips from this cloth, and they're going to be approximately 3 inches wide. Okay, so here are my 4 pieces, and what I'm going to do is start wrapping each strand around my foam ring. And as you can see, I started by adding some hot glue on my foam, and now I'm just going to start to wrap it. And I'm not going to be adding hot glue every time that I wrap it around, only where I think that it needs some. It'll be mainly when I start and I finish where I'll add the hot glue. These 4 strands will cover all the rings, so once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and move on to the next step. And this is how it turned out, and now you have this nice fuzzy wreath to work with. So I found these at Dollar Tree, these willow stems. Once I cut some of the branches off, I start to lay them on my wreath where I want them to be, and then I start to hot glue them. I'll also be using this Dollar Tree ornament, this really cute owl. I'm going to be hot gluing this little cute guy in the center of the ring. What you see me doing there with the scissors is I'm just cutting some of those pine needles that were all out of whack and just kind of straightening them up and just giving them a little cleanup, I guess you could say, before that I lay my little owl right there in the center of the ring. And then lastly, I'll be using some of these Dollar Tree pine cones that I just hauled not too long ago, so I'll be able to use them in this project. So I'm just gonna hot glue a smaller one in the center and then a larger one on one side and then one on the other side that's a little bit smaller, and that's it. I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree clear ornament, and it's the ones that are kind of oval and flat. So I'm going to be using this Pledge cleaner, and you're going to be amazed how this is going to turn out. I'm also going to be using the red glitter from this Crafters Square glitter set, and this comes from Dollar Tree. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is remove the top from my Christmas ornament. And I'm going to pour straight from the bottle into my ornament some of this Pledge floor cleaner, and I didn't put that much. As you can see, it's just a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is make sure that the entire inside of the ornament is covered with this floor cleaner. So what I'm doing is just moving the liquid around and just making sure that the inside is all covered with this liquid. So once I was confident that it was all covered, I went ahead and I spilled out the remainder of the liquid into a clear plastic bowl. And I just kind of let it sit there for a bit, just making sure everything would drain out. Next, I added the red glitter inside, and this was really fun and relaxing at the same time. So I used one of those vials, and then I ended up using a second one. And so what I'm doing here is just moving the glitter around and making sure that it covers the entire inside wall of the ornament, just like I did with the liquid. And once I thought it was all covered, I went ahead and I spilled out the remainder of the glitter. Once again, I'm going to be using this white metallic marker. And I'm going to write on my ornament, believe. I don't have the best handwriting, but I wanted it to be personalized by me personally writing this word on here. Now, you can also put some stickers if you find some that say whatever you'd like it to say. But I decided to handwrite it, and it looks okay, I think. And then I decided to also draw out some little snowflakes. Then I went in with some of this snow spray from Dollar Tree, and I just sprayed the bottom part of the ornament. And then using that same black and white ribbon, I created a bow and also a hanger for it. I'll be using 6 mini wooden pallets, and these are from Dollar Tree. What I'm doing here is arranging the pallets how I'm going to be hot gluing them together, and I'm basically just going to form a platform. I'm going to start by adding some hot glue on the edge of one of the pallets, and then I'm going to join the other one to it. And now I'm going to repeat the same step. I'm going to put some more hot glue on the edge of the palette, and then I'll join the third one. And now I'm going to repeat the same steps to these 3 pallets. And now I'm going to join both of the sections together. And now I'm going to turn it over to the back side so that I can reinforce it. Next, I'm going to add some more hot glue on the back side where both of the pieces join together. The next thing that I did is cut pieces of popsicle sticks, and I'll be using those to reinforce the 2 sections that I glued together. Okay, so if you're wondering how big this little platform is, it's 12 by a little bit over 12 and a half. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some of this wax antique from Waverly. What I want to do is darken this wood because it is too light for this project that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit of that wax in a pan. A little bit goes a long ways, but it is too dark. So I'm going to add some water and just make it just a little bit lighter. And now I'm ready to start applying it to my wood. Now I did use a brush. You can also use a piece of cloth. I decided to use a brush because it was pretty runny. So I'm going to go ahead and give it one coat and then let it dry and see how dark it gets. If it's not dark enough, I'll go ahead and give it another coat. And this is how it turned out, and now I'm going to let the stain dry. The next item I'm going to be working with is these foam sheets, and it's a gingerbread cutout. So what I'm going to do is form a reindeer out of this cutout. Okay, as you see the gingerbread, the top of the head is going to be the antlers. And then the hands, I'm going to turn them into the reindeer's ears. And then I'm going to cut the legs in an angle to form the deer's face. So I've already cut all the pieces that I need to, and now I have a stencil. So I'm going to start by folding the gingerbread in half. And then I'm going to place the pre-cut stencil that I had already cut and just lay it over the uncut gingerbread. And using my marker, I'm just going to outline it. And here I just want you to see it up close. So I'll be cutting off the legs, and then these will be the ears, and then the top will be the antlers. And now I'm ready to cut what I've outlined. And there you go, now you have a deer face. On this one, the antlers are a little bit thicker than the first one. From this Dollar Tree decor, I'm gonna take the Let It Snow metal and I'm gonna use it as a stencil. I've already removed this one from another one that I had, and it's really easy for it to come off. I'm also gonna be using this Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Okay, so I've placed my reindeer where I want it to be on the piece of wood, and I'm going to be using a sponge to sponge on some paint. Now I'm going to be careful as to not to move my reindeer. I didn't tape it down. I felt that I could just hold it in place and just paint as I went. And this is how it turned out. And now I'm gonna move on to the Let It Snow sign. And now I'm just gonna finish off the corner where I didn't paint. And then I felt it needed a little something, so I added these little bells here in the corner. You can also use a Dollar Tree bell that they have, but since it was white, I felt that it wouldn't stand out. So what I am gonna use from this ornament is I'm gonna take the greenery and also the little pine cone and that burlap bow, and I'm gonna place it there at the top. And then lastly, I'm gonna add these little red berries as well. Please let me know down below which is your favorite one if you've stayed this long. If you have, please comment down below and let me know. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Well, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and also share. I'd really appreciate it. You have yourself a blessed and safe day. Until my next video, bye-bye and God bless.